Hello people of YouTube, Deepak here, again in DCS World, flying the Black Shark 2, and today we're going to take a little look at data link. Now, because it's very difficult to demonstrate a data link on my own, I today have a friend with me in the form of Dot Chuckles over here on my left. Say hello to the nice people, Dot Chuckles.
Hello all the nice people.
And as you may also notice, we're using a radio plugin called Aries Wings, and this tries to recreate realistic radio comms in DCS World. So, today we're going to take a little look at how the data link represents aircraft in your wing on the Abris, and how you can share target information. So we're going to go over storing target information in the data link and displaying it on the Abris, sending it to wingmen, making use of ingress points, and also making use of the integration that you have between the data link and Cheval in the form of pointing your Cheval directly at a stored or transmitted target, and also the way that you can integrate the ingress points with your autopilot and actually have your autopilot take you straight there. So for the purposes of this mission, I'm actually reusing my Canon mission, so we have the same trucks sitting in a line at waypoint 3. We're going to go over there, we're going to exchange some targeting information, and then we're going to engage them together, myself and Dot Chuckles. So, without further ado, let's take off and make our way there. Okay, one is taking off and going to push to waypoint 3.
You copy direct to 3.
Okay, off we go. Airborne and wheels up. One is wheels up.
Two wheels up.
Okie dokie. And let's get moving. Oh, actually, I just realised I got the wrong waypoint selected. Okay, let's go waypoint 3. Now, I'm actually using different recording software on this particular occasion because Aries Wings requires that you run the sim in windowed mode, and Shadowplay, which is what I was using before, doesn't work in windowed mode. So, I'm using something a little bit different. It's something called FF Split. And because Aries Wings also requires a push to talk button, and I didn't want to end up holding down two buttons whenever I wanted to talk to you fine people, I actually have just left my mic open all the time, and my push to talk is just if I want to speak to Dot Chuckles. So I apologise if there's too much in the way of background noise or any other distractions. This just seemed to be the best way to get around the limitations of the software that I'm using, but I will review it if it becomes a problem. Okay, flight, fence in.
2 copy fence in.
Okay, so I'm going master arm on and laser to standby. I have a master arm on light, and I'm going to go firing rate low. Now, to set up my data link, primarily, I'm just looking at this panel here. I've set my ID, which as the flight lead means I'm number 1. I've set my mode to commander. Dot Chuckles will have set his ID to number 2, and he'll have set his mode to wingman. And as you can see here, he's behind me, and he's showing up as ID number 2. If you can just about make that out, let me zoom in for you, then there we go. So, all seems to be working very nicely. Oh, as part of my fence checks, I should really have programmed up my countermeasures, although of course today we're not going to need those. These poor defenceless trucks are not going to be fighting back. And I'm going to make a right turn just now, and I'm going to align myself with a line of trees off to the right. One is deviating right. I'm going to line up with the same line of trees as previously.
2 copy, I'm on your right hand side.
Can't see him in the wing mirrors, not wing mirrors, in the mirrors. I don't doubt that he's there somewhere. Actually, if I look at my Abris, I can see that he's just behind and to the right. So yes, we're going to make our way over to this intersection here, where these two lines of trees join, and we're going to pick out some targets for each other. So now that I have the data link all set up with my ID and my mode, one of the things that you've got to keep in mind is that you must have the data link power switch here turned on, as well as this data link power switch here turned on, and then from that point forwards you're just using the data link control panel up here. Okay, one is coming to a stop and entering a hover.
2 copy.
Oh, one more thing to keep in mind is that you must both be on the same VHF channel. So in this case, we're both transmitting 121 megahertz on the VHF AM radio, because I believe it uses that radio for the data link. Okay, just about entered a hover here now. And I'm putting my auto hover mode on. That should stabilize us nicely. Okay, just going to adjust my range scale here. I keep pressing the transmit key on my throttle because I'm so used to having to press transmit to speak. I'm sure Doc Chuckles he'll be most confused by this. Okay, 2, I'm going to lock up the southernmost target and transmit it to you. If you can lock up the northernmost target and transmit it to me. Over. Okay, so I lock up my target using the Shkval as normal. I've got my TA indication and I've got my range. At this stage, I'm going to store the target. So there are two methods of transmitting via the data link. You can do an immediate send, but that's without a category, or you can categorize and store your targets for later transmission. So you've got your categories across the top here. Categories are armored vehicle, air-to-air or SAM, and the third category is other. Now that's usually used for soft-skinned vehicles or buildings and things like that. And your fourth item here is actually ingress points. We'll touch on that in just a moment. So in the case of this truck, I'm going to choose other, and I'm going to choose send/mem. And at that stage, it's actually been stored onto my Abris. The last thing you would do once you're finished storing or designating targets is you'll reset your weapon system, and you'll see that I've got a box here which corresponds to the category I chose.
Standby data.
Well, that's Chuck just gonna Doc Chuckle's just gonna send me some data. There we go, that's flashing. I'm just gonna hit memory, and that's me storing it. I now actually have 2 of these. So as I was saying, the targets are categorized, and they have these icons: diamond, kind of house shape, or square. These are both category other, so they're showing up as a square. I'm now going to, now that I've stored my particular target, I'm going to retrieve it. Now I do that by pressing the category of the target type I'm interested in. If there's more than one target of that type, you can press the category button multiple times to cycle through them, and after you get to the end it just goes out. So I'm going to press it once to get other target type 1, number 1, sorry. I'm going to choose, now this is your destination. You've got the 4 members of your wing, if you can have up to 4. And there's also a button that data links to all. I'm going to choose 2, just to send it directly to my wingman. I'm going to click send, and at that point it'll send it to him. 2, standby data. Okay, and that should have popped up on his data link just as mine did.
2 data received.
So, the next thing, now that we've demonstrated how to store and how to send data link targets, you want to be able to bring your weapons to bear on them very quickly. So, Doc Chuckles sent me the other target, number 2. You actually can't see it's number 2 because the waypoint's right on top, but I could press category other twice to go to the second one. I'll now see on my Abris that it's flashing. I can now press the button.
1, did you copy data?
Sorry, 2, say again.
Did you copy my data?
Affirmative, data received. Okay, and you'll see that I now have crosshairs. It stopped flashing and I've got crosshairs over this particular target. If I now press Cheval on cage, it's going to send my Cheval directly to that target, and I could now very easily lock that up, which is quite useful. Okay, I'm now going to demonstrate how to immediately send a target to you without storing it first. Over. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off my DL ingress. I'm going to turn on my Cheval again. I'm going to send him one that's a bit closer to the middle of the group. So I'm just going to bring my Cheval over to the target area. Here we go. And let's choose someone near the middle. I'm going to lock him up. I've got my TA symbol, and I don't choose a category if I'm doing an immediate send. I simply choose my recipient and I hit send memory to standby data, and away it goes.
2 data received.
2, can you confirm which category that showed up as?
One that came in as category 3.
Copy that. If you would care to select an ingress point for me for the target that you sent across, and I'm going to do the same for you and transmit it. Okay, so at this stage, we've demonstrated how to store, how to then subsequently send, how to do an immediate send. So the next thing to do is how to set an ingress point. Often if you've got some targets that you want your wingman to attack, you may well want him to attack them from a certain position, or at the very least from a certain angle. This can be especially good if you have a large flight of, say, 4 helicopters, where you want to try and get a bit of separation. You want to try and avoid actually shooting each other. So I'm going to do exactly that just now, and Dot Chuckles is doing the same. Oh, I'm descending a bit. Let's get that under control. So I'm going to choose a point off to the southwest, because his target is more towards the south.
1 standby data.
Okay, he's obviously... perfect. Yes, he's chosen one for me. Data received. Okay, I'm going to pick an ingress point for him over here, kind of to the south. Oh, actually, that's me at my slew limits for the Cheval. Let's bring it over here a little bit. Target... oh, no, it's probably a bit close. I'll make it further over here. There we go. So again, I'm going to choose category, which in this case will be an ingress point. Oops. And I'm going to store that. So now I've got, if I zoom, oops, didn't mean to do that. If I zoom out a little bit, I have 2 of these ingress points. I'm going to press ingress once. Oh, actually, sorry, I need to reset my Cheval, in fact, before I can do that. So yeah, first press gives me mine, the one that was sent to me. Second press of ingress point gives me the one that I've selected. I'm going to choose number 2 to send it to my wingman, and then I'll hit send. 2 standby data. And it's off. That should have been transmitted to him.
Data received.
Okay, 2. If you want to proceed to your ingress point and then report back when ready.
2 copy. Proceed to ingress. Report when ready.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the ingress point that Dot Chuckle sent me. It's now flashing. Again, I'm going to hit DL ingress, and you'll see that it puts crosshairs over the top of that. And now, rather than pressing the Cheval uncage, I don't actually want to target it, I want to fly to it. And that can be achieved by using the standard en route autopilot, which will immediately take me there. So I'm going to turn off my auto hover, and I'm going to engage en route mode. And the autopilot will pretty much take me straight there. I'll give it a bit of nose down just to accelerate the process. And I can see on my Abris that Dot Chuckles is doing the same. He's on his way. once we reach our ingress points, we will both signal each other and then engage our assigned targets. And that should pretty much conclude this demonstration. This would probably work quite well if you were attacking a compound which had a variety of different target types. You say things like anti-air guns, surface-to-air missile systems and troops. You could do a simultaneous attack from different directions. It would probably slow the enemy's ability to sort of quickly retaliate, and it could mean that you could hit multiple targets all at once, which is a good thing. Okay, I'm just about there. So, actually, I just realised that it gives me a distance here as well. 800 meters to go. So, I'll wait till I'm about 500 meters out, and I will start to decelerate. Okay, going to bring the nose up. And within a couple of 100 meters will be more than good enough accuracy for our purposes here today. Okay, so off with the en route mode, on with the auto hover. Just let the chopper stabilize, and I'm going to make a turn round so I can see my target. I'm going to turn off the DL ingress mode, which takes away that symbology, and I'm going to select the target that was assigned to me, which is just there. And again, I'm going to press DL ingress, and then I'm going to uncage the Shkval. Shkval will straight away turn to that target, and there we go. It's in the crosshairs. Lock him up. And I'm going to turn on the... Oops, I'm just going to get myself all lined up and reset my trim. And then turn on the auto turn to target, because that just makes my life a little bit easier. Okay, one is in position, ready to attack. I can see that Dot Chuckles is on his ingress point. He's probably just in the process of turning around now.
Two's in position, ready to attack.
Okay, let's attack with guns on 3, 2, 1, guns. Boom, boom, boom. Let's see if I can see him firing as well. That's my target destroyed. Oh, actually, no, it's not. Or is it? No, he's on fire. He'll stop in a moment. Hardly seems fair, does it?
Target destroyed.
Okay, 1 copies. Okay, so we've both managed to destroy our targets. We both have been able to store target data, transmit it, also do immediate sends. We've both dealt with our initial points. We've looked at the integration with the autopilot, and also the kind of automatic turning of the Shkval to a shared target. So I think, for the purposes of this demonstration, that pretty much does it. Oh, there's Dot Chuckles unleashing on some more of those unsuspecting trucks. So, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.